Hello, welcome to yet another session of company administration. Today, we will be discussing about promotion and incorporation of a company. There are four distinct stages toward the formation of a company. As you know, a company comes into existence only when it has been incorporated under the Companies Act. That is the present Companies Act 2013. So a company literally means what? It's a voluntary association of persons incorporated by company law, which is again formed for achieving some common objective, isn't it? Otherwise, a legal definition says that a company is a company which has been incorporated under this act or any previous act, that is the current Companies Act 2013 or any Companies Act before 2013. So a company comes into existence only when it is being registered. So in the present class, we will be discussing about the formation and registration of a company, otherwise formation and incorporation of a company. There are four distinct stages in the formation of a company. The first one is promotion, the second one is registration or incorporation, the third one is flotation, and the fourth one is commencement of business. So in this class, in the present session, we will be discussing about promotion of the company, and in the next class and the subsequent classes, we will be discussing about the other stages. Now, coming to promotion. Promotion is the first stage in the formation of a business. That is, a company comes into existence only through promotion. There is always an idea in the mind of an individual that is being converted into a company. When you come to the second stage, that speaks about the registration and incorporation. That is all legal formalities. Now this promotion, it is an intellectual activity wherein an idea popped up, an idea came up, and now that idea we are converting into a company or a business. So the second stage speaks about the legal formalities. The first stage speaks about how this company came into existence. So as I said, it is the preliminary activities incidental to the formation of a company. The promotion is the preliminary activities incidental towards the formation of the company. It is the first stage in the formation of a company. So there is a person, there might be an individual or a group of individual, an associate, a syndicate, or even a company that will be coming up with some sort of idea. It might be a product or it might be a service. So the first preliminary step incidental to the formation of a company is the discovery of a business opportunity. That is an idea. If you look around the companies around you, any company, whether it is a micro, mini, a small scale company, otherwise even a multinational company or any sort of such company with whatever their capital are, all these were just an idea. It was an idea that was converted into a business that is in existence today. Okay, so the first stage of or the first preliminary incidental to the formation of a company is to identify with the business opportunity. Okay, so first you are having a business opportunity or you are having an idea. The second step that you will be adopting is to check the feasibility of such an idea. That is detailed investigation into the feasibility of that particular idea that you have found out. You might be having more than one idea, and out of that you have to find out an idea that is most suitable for you. That is, it is feasible for you. You can find out finance, you can find out customers, you will be having demand for the commodity or the service that you are rendering. So you need to make a cost volume profit analysis and so on. You have to analyze, you have to check the feasibility of that particular idea or project that is in your mind. Then you have to find out the necessary funds. As you know, finance is the lifeblood of a business. If you are having an idea, if you want to implement it into a business, you should be having finance for the same, isn't it? So finance is the lifeblood of an organization. So the third thought that will be in the mind of a person who is coming with such an idea is organization of funds, property, as well as managerial ability, that is the professional ability. We need people to undertake such an activity. Always a person who comes with an idea needn't be a very successful business person. That person is having an idea, or he might not be having the managerial capacity, the professional capacity to undertake a business. Okay, so they have to find out, pull out the managerial abilities. So the first one was, you have to come with an idea. There should be an idea, that idea is converted into a business. Secondly, a detailed investigation upon the feasibility of the study. And the third one is organization of fund, property, as well as managerial ability. And the fourth one is taking all necessary steps to float that particular company, taking all those necessary steps to convert that idea into a realistic company. So these are the preliminaries incidental to the formation of the company. So the first process in the formation of company is promotion. In this present class, we will be discussing about promotion, the process of promotion, who is a promoter, and what are the functions, duties, and liabilities of the promoter. Hope you have understood the term promotion. It is the first stage in the formation of a company, and it is a preliminaries incidental towards the formation of a company. Now you came to know that there is a person who is making a deliberate attempt for the formation of a company, isn't it? A person who is deliberately making all effort to come up with an idea, a business opportunity, conceive an idea, isn't it? Such a person is known as a promoter. So a promoter is a person who make all necessary steps towards the formation of a company, or who makes all the deliberate attempt towards the existence of a company. So a promoter is a person who conceives an idea, who visualizes a project, and make all necessary steps to convert that into a reality. So that person is known as a promoter. Again, that might be an individual, a group of people, an association, a syndicate, a partnership, or even a company who can come up with an idea and make all deliberate attempt to convert that idea into a business. So here, all such preliminary activities incidental to the formation of company is undertaken by a person, and that one particular person is regarded as a promoter. When I say one particular person, it might be again an association, as I said earlier, a syndicate, a partnership, or even a company or a group of people. So they are known as the people who are behind the formation, that is behind the conception of such an idea, is known as promoter. Is that clear? So promoter is a person who take all steps to convert a business into, convert an idea into a business. That is, they come up with an idea, visualizes a project, and makes it into a reality. Such people are known as promoter. So there might be one person, there might be more than one person, it might be a company, a partnership, or even an association who will be coming up with such business opportunity and making all effort to convert it into a business. Hope you have understood the term promoter. Now let's learn the legal definition of the term promoter. Section 2, subsection 69 of the Companies Act 2013 defines promoter. The Act defines promoter as a person whose name has been included in the prospectus or is identified by the annual return of the company. So that is the first clause mentioned in the Act, that is, promoter is a person who has been named in the prospectus or whose name is identified in the annual return of the company. So prospectus means what? It's a document that is issued towards the public for subscribing towards the company's shares or debentures. So in that prospectus, the name of people will be mentioned who were incidental towards the formation of the company. Such persons is regarded as promoter. So whose name has been included in the prospectus as well as identified by the company's annual return is regarded as a promoter. Is that clear? Now, the second clause says that who has control over the affairs of the company directly or indirectly, whether as a shareholder or a director or otherwise. So the second clause says that a promoter is a person who is having a control upon the affairs of the company either directly or indirectly, might be in the capacity of a shareholder or might be in the capacity of a director or any other capacity that is being mentioned in the Companies Act. Then that person is regarded as a promoter. And the third clause says that in accordance with whose advice, instruction or direction the board of directors of the company is accustomed to act. That is the third clause that is being mentioned in the definition. That is, in accordance with whose advice, direction or instruction a board of directors need to act. So the person who is advising, instructing or providing instructions or directions towards the board of directors, then that person is regarded as a promoter. But when you speak about the third clause, there is a small provision that need to be added. That is, any person who is advising a board of director under a professional capacity cannot be regarded as a promoter. We said that promoter is a person who, in accordance with whose advice, direction or instruction the board of directors of the company is accustomed to act. So the person who has conceived an idea, who made all deliberate attempt to the formation of the company, might be advising the board of director, might be giving directions, might be giving instructions toward the board of director. That person is the promoter. But any advice, instruction or directions given away by a professional body or a professional individual towards the board of director, that professional body or individual cannot be treated as a promoter. Is that clear? So a promoter is a person whose name is being mentioned in the prospectus as well as the annual return of the company. That is the first clause. Secondly, a promoter is a person who is having a control over the affairs of the company directly or indirectly as a shareholder or in the capacity of a director. And the third clause says that the promoter is a person in accordance with whose advice, instruction and direction the board of directors of the company is accustomed to act. But the third clause is having a the subclause C is not applicable to the person who is acting merely in a professional capacity. That is, the board of director is professionally being given advices, and thus such an advisory cannot be regarded as a promoter. Okay, so this is a legal definition given under section 2 subsection 69 of the Companies Act 2013. Once again I will tell you, a promoter is a person who has been named as such in a prospectus or identified in the annual return of the company. Secondly, who is having a control. The second clause says that a promoter is a person who is having a control upon the affairs of the company directly or indirectly, whether as a shareholder or a director or otherwise, and in accordance with whose advice, instruction and directions the board of directors of the company is accustomed to act, is regarded as a promoter. I hope the legal definition is clear.